What's going on, everybody? This is the comments section, number 25. What is going on today with these comments? We got a bunch. What do we got? Black Space Audio, what's happened? I don't know what this video is to. Let's see. I find a lot of musicians like the hip. This is obviously from the Tragically Hip video, one of them. Like the hip. I find a lot of musicians like the hip well enough, but most of the ones I know, through my brother who's played in bands his whole life, move on to more interesting music. They still like the hip and think it's pretty cool, but they are more interested in riskier, more complicated music. Non-musicians tend to focus on the vibe and lyrics, which is where the hip shine. So I would sum it up by saying I don't think the hip were ever a musician's band. Even when they get a little experimental, it's not super complicated. Right. Yeah. I like vibe. I'm down with it. I mean, the lyric thing... Right, there are people that are really super into lyrics. And also, the more you get to know the music and the artists or the band or whatever, the more you're going to get into the lyrics. That's mostly why I push back so hard on people that come at me about lyrics and how come I don't dive into the lyrics. It's like, because this is literally my first time listening to all these videos that I do, unless I say otherwise, like, oh, I've heard this before. Unless I say otherwise, it's literally the first time that I'm hearing the song. And on first listen, I'm really not catching the lyrics, like never. Whether I'm listening to a song for the first time on video or in the car or at home or whatever, it doesn't matter. Like that's not where my ears go to at first at all, unless it's really a focal point. Anyways, I like vibe stuff, like music that's just a vibe. It doesn't need to be complicated for me. I like melodies. That could be very simple, right? I like nice harmony also. I like harmony, melody, relationships, stuff like that, where that kind of stuff gets me a lot. I like interesting rhythmic stuff. Like that's, a great example of that is like Tool. I like lots of different things about music. I like lots of different music also. Like I don't see myself as genre specific at all. Like some people are very like, I listen to metal and that's it. Or I listen to rock and roll and that's it. Or I listen to pop and that's it. Or I listen to hip hop and that's it. Right? Stuff like that. Like they really have their thing or like one or two things. I was never like that. I'm like that playing wise too. I'll play anything. I don't care. Lots of people are like, oh, you're a bass player. What do you play? Like what kind of music do you play? And I'm like, I'll play anything. I play anything. I've played in all kinds of bands, playing all kinds of styles. Don't care. Now, especially because like long hair, people think just like rock or metal or something like that. I just always wanted long hair. I wanted long hair since I was a kid, and it just never happened until I was 30 or almost 30. Until I was like 29 or 30 or 31, until I was older. So was I able to actually make it happen? And then once you have it, you're just like, I can't cut it now. Are you kidding me? I can't cut it now. Like, yeah, it didn't take, like, in retrospect, yeah, it took, what, a year and a half, maybe 2 years to really grow for me, because my hair grows fast. But, yeah, probably like a year and a half. But still, it's like you finally make it through that just terrible looking awkward phase of it, where it's like not long enough and just too long, right? And it's just weird in your face. It's like you don't want to cut it off after that. I don't know. Anyways, this guitar player that I used to play with, who has long hair, older dude, used to say whenever any of his friends got a haircut, he would always be like, "It's either a girl or a job." It's either because of a girl or because of a job. Like, oh, you got a job, or oh, you got a girlfriend, kind of thing. Anyways, there you go. Okay, cool. Yeah, the hip. Yeah. I like them, though. I like the vibe. I don't mind. You just have to find the songs that you like. That's one of the cool and great and satisfying things about listening to new music, for me at least, is that when you find those songs that really hit you, you're like, oh, yeah, this is great. That's why it's so huge to keep track of those songs. That's why starting things like playlists and stuff like that is huge, right? Mixtapes, right? Back in the day, mixtapes, same thing. Okay, up next, Tragically Hip Lionized. Ron Leister 5667, what's going on? Subbed. Thank you. I really appreciate the fact that you don't just automatically love the material that has been suggested for you to react to like many other reactors do. Your informed and critical approach to music is what I look forward on each reaction. Thank you. Yeah, you'll come to realize that also, and it'll probably tick you off because it does probably a lot of people, where I'm just like, yeah, cool, like it, dig it, great, yeah, great, awesome, cool, yep. Not much of the, that's all I got, stuff like that, because I tend to do that a lot. But that's because there's so much, like, when you're just listening to stuff, not everything is just, oh my God, this is amazing. Music, to me at least, is not like that. There's a lot of music that's like that, but especially when you're doing things like this, where you're going through an album, I mean, yes, there's classic albums where you're just like, oh my God. Like if you go back and watch when I listen to Permanent Waves, it's just like, especially at the end, after I heard the whole thing, I'm like, this is why they're on the map. This is what got them. This is huge, right? This album is incredible. And sometimes for people those albums are different, right? Because there are a lot of people, just staying on the Rush example, a lot of people that are crazy about Moving Pictures, where I'm like, Moving Pictures is great and all, but like Permanent Waves is the shit. That's like where it's at. That's like pinnacle right there. That's like a perfect album, right? A perfect album. Anyways, but a lot of stuff, you're getting tracks where it's like, this is okay, this is all right, or this is like a nice vibe, but I could take it or leave it. There's a lot of that. So there's not a lot of stuff where, you just put it on. It just doesn't, I don't trust people that like everything. I just don't. I'm just out and say it. I don't. If you're smiling constantly, like I've met some of those people in my life where they're just like constantly, I just don't. And like as nice as that is, and that sounds also, that's also really not me. Like I'm not like that. Like, a lot of people, like when I'm playing or whatever, they'll be like, and I've gotten this forever, right? Like, how come you're not smiling? And especially just staying with the Rush thing, it's like you look at Neil Peart. That guy never freaking smiles, right? Nearly never. Sometimes Alex will do something that'll make him smile. He'll joke or whatever, and it'll make him smile. And I'm way more like that in terms of that kind of demeanor. It's like I'm paying attention to what I'm doing. Especially when I'm playing, how I think of it is I start using my ears as my eyes. So my eyes, while they're open, probably, sometimes maybe they're not, but while they're open, they're kind of off. And my ears are on. That's what I'm trying to do, so I may be looking around or whatever and like scoping things out, but I'm really trying to shift my sensitivities to my ears. Does that make sense? So then when people see that, and even if I watch videos of myself or whatever, I can see how, sometimes it's like I may look not bored, but, because I still move around a lot. I feel like I move around a lot I've gotten that just forever also. Like early on, especially, there were bands where they'd be like, that's J-Pan, he's our dancer, stuff like that, like, because or I remember one of the first wedding bands that I played in, they talked to us about like the guy that was booking and managing the band or whatever was like, the most interesting person to look on stage is Justin, who looks like he's having fun. Everybody else is just kind of up there, it's because I like to play music, but like that's also what I'm doing is I'm trying to, and like moving around. I think part of me gets it from like Stevie Wonder, because you see Stevie Wonder, he don't have he can't see, so, and he moves his head around, but he's moving, how he's talked about is he's moving his ears around to catch all the sound around him, and that's amazing to me. And you have to do that, because the more you move your head, it's all different perspective. Like you're catching other things, different angles. If you move a little bit, like if I'm just on a stage, it doesn't need to be a big stage. It could even be a small stage. If you take a couple of steps forward, all of a sudden the bass amp is hitting you different. The drums maybe you can catch more of the guitar now all of a sudden, right? This is with or without a monitor. It doesn't really matter, like that's whatever. Or in-ears. I have in-ears. I use in-ears when it's necessary. most of the time the gigs I'm doing, it's not in-ears, you know, or I'm choosing, if there's a choice, usually if there's a choice, I'm not using in-ears. I'm either using nothing or I'll use a monitor. But lots of times for stuff like that, I don't need a monitor, because usually everybody else has a monitor on the stage and there's enough stage volume that I can catch everything. It totally depends though. Totally depends. That is not a rule for me, like in any way, shape, or form. Anyways, I forget what I was I forget what I was saying now. That's what happens on some of these. I go on tangents and now I'm like, geez. Anyways, hopefully there was stuff in there that was of some kind of value. Okay, that's interesting that I got a positive comment towards the channel to a negative. Oh yeah, I remember. Now it's making me remember what I was saying. Yeah, there's a lot of music that it's just kind of okay, and it's not super exciting. So, and that's not going to excite me. I need a reason, and it includes, yeah, now I remember what I was talking about. Same thing with being on stage. I need a reason to smile, or to like something where it's like a reaction, right? If something happens on stage, or something happens musically, or something happens off stage and I see it, and then I react to it, and where I'm smiling or I'm laughing or I'm whatever, then that'll happen. And that's no different than listening to music. It's like, okay, this is kind of okay, or this is a vibe, this can just be on. But if I'm like actively listening to something and it's just kind of whatever, because not all music is made for that, right? Not all music is made to just sit down and listen to it and that's it. Music does not have that sole purpose at all, to just sit down and enjoy. There's music to do things to. You just put it on while you're doing things, right? That is right. We've talked about that. We've listened to those kinds of things. I'm going to be getting into a little bit more of that because I have a buddy who makes music that's specific to that. And it's very interesting. It's a lot of where music is right now and just how people interact with music. It's not the same as how it used to be, where here it's like more active listening where you're just sitting and listening. But so much of music is not that. It's not that. You're not sitting and listening. You're shopping. You're at this place, right? You're at this event. You're at this whatever, whatever it is. You're performing this task. Music is on. Stuff like that. So that is a totally different, and that's not like a musician type of viewpoint, right? Musicians are not, I mean, while they do that also, I think that also because they do music, they probably they have a different viewpoint of it, I don't know, it's a little bit weird to talk about just with myself. I feel like it would be better as a discussion with somebody else, but maybe I'll be getting into stuff like that actually. We'll see. Okay, up next, Mitchell B 7063. What's going on? This is from Tragically Hip Pigeon Camera. You're doing everyone a disservice by making a 5-minute reaction video to every song, hardly looking into it at all, and saying, "Meh, it's all right." And I said, you don't need to announce your exit, bro, because I've been feeling a bit like this lately. Unfortunately, sometimes I get like that where I'm just like, dude, I don't need to, like, like, I get it. I get it. He wasn't, what did he really say? What did he really say that needed that type of reaction from me? I was probably just in a mood. Anyways. And then he said, I'm trying to help you. Right. See? And thank you. Sometimes I'm wrong. A lot, probably. Sorry. I'm trying to help you. The Hip could be the most beloved musical group in terms of what they mean to a country. I mean, yeah, okay, fine. Sure. It's not my country, so I don't have those connections, but I can appreciate it, right? And also I can like it for not those reasons. I tend to like things not for those reasons. I tend to like things because I like, specifically with music, it's because I like the music, right? I have to like the music. If I don't like the music, what the hell am I doing? Anyways, Gorda was an entire country storyteller. You aren't providing any real commentary. I strongly suggest taking a few minutes to look into the meaning behind each song. Just no. especially on first listen. I'm just not gonna freaking do that. I'm not, sorry, this is why it bugs me, because I hear it all the time. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. I already go into a small amount, right? It's not a huge amount, right? I'm just going through Wikipedia where I'm getting some amount of information about it, which already is more than most people are getting when they first listen to it. There wasn't Wikipedia when the album came out. You know, I'm already doing more than when the first album came out, all right? And as I've said before, like, most people are not sitting down with the lyrics on first listen. They're just not. So I'm not going to do that. That's something that comes as you live with the song and the music for a longer period of time. That's just natural to me. I don't see how that's controversial. It's not. Am I crazy? I feel like I'm crazy. You know what I mean? Like, that's what comments like this make me feel. Sorry, anyways. I strongly suggest you taking a few minutes to look into the meaning behind each song, or you will annoy basically any hip fan. I don't give a shit about annoying hip fans. Good. Sorry. Good. Sorry. As the group was 95% Gord's songwriting. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Part of that is you know, the music. Part of that is lyrics, but a lot of that is also the music. Anyways, we've talked about that a lot. To not even mention anything about that is a disservice. I say this as a diehard hip fan. Reacting to any hip video without discussing anything regarding the lyrics is pretty worthless. That's fine. That's fine. Did I say anything else after that? I did. I said, I assume you're new to watching my videos and haven't participated in the lyrics discussion, which is apparently ongoing. And will actually be on the comment section video coming out in a couple days, so that already came out. Anyways, no offense, not trying to be a total dick, because I realize I can be a dick, right? By showing you the door earlier. Sorry about that. Sorry, that is my bad. But yeah, you're not going to get any type of lyric reading or analysis from me. I don't do that. I do music. Lyrics are only a portion of that, 25% at best. Again, this has been an ongoing discussion on the channel, right? And I think that there have been more than one comment after this. I don't have them for this video, but, you know, it's been a discussion a lot. I think it was on the last comment section, number 24. And I mean, because this came up like a year ago at least. It comes out pretty often, especially when I get into new bands or new music and new people come to the channel because of that. And they're like, how come you're not doing things like other people? Or like, you know, because there are a zillion, bajillion reactors or whatever. And I don't know how, I don't watch other people's react. Maybe I should. I don't know. I'm doing a lot of things. I do this a lot for me because I just like to listen to music, and it's my chance to listen to new music. You know, not everybody listens to new music all the time. What do they say? Like, people after 40 stop listening to, they don't find any new music after 40 or something like that. That's not going to be me, right? That's not going to be me because I like music, right? And I like finding new music. When you find new cool music that hits you, that's a drug to me. That's a drug. That's no different than when you are into fishing and you catch a fish, the tug is the drug, shit like that. You know, it's no different than, it's that high, that dopamine hit. It's that. When I find some song or something where I'm like, wow, this is awesome. This is freaking incredible, right? This is sick, right? There's stuff like that that we're into right now, whether it's stuff by Queen that we're checking out. I just did that Yes album that had Awaken on it. That was cool. I can remember the first time I listened to that Steve Wilson song. What was that track with the album with the moon? I don't remember the name of the track, but I remember the thumbnail. I'm like this or something like that. That track, I remember, just knocked me off my feet. I'm like, this is incredible. This is incredible. And it's so cool to find that stuff. I find it super cool to find that stuff. You're just like, it's exciting to me. And that's why I do this, not for you guys. If you guys can get something out of this, which I know that a lot of you do, and I love that also. I do. I don't want this to be boring and stupid and he's just like, man. But at the same time, if that's how I feel, I'm not going to lie. I can't do that either. You know, I'm not going to lie and be like, oh my God, this is so incredible. Why don't you? If you remember seeing my April Fool's, I think that's when I did it, my April Fool's videos from this past year where I was still doing the Rush thing. So I did Rush related videos, and I was joking around how people want you to react to Rush, and it was just me being over the top ridiculous, probably how a lot of you people think other reactors are or whatever, where it's like they just love everything, and I that's not me. Like I can't do that. I mean, I can act for you, and maybe I should just, that would be nuts if all of a sudden one day all the videos that come out from me are just all of a sudden I'm just like, oh my god, like I become a different person, and the people that have been on the channel for a while are just like, what happened to Justin? Hey, maybe bring Justin back. What are you doing? Like wait a minute, what? But I just do it as a test, just to see. Like maybe I do it for like a month or 2 months or something like that, just to see how it changes the channel and the audience and stuff like that. That would be interesting. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not going to do that. It's way easier for me to just be natural and just do my thing, and you like it or you don't, and that's it. Cool, right? I think there's a lot of value in that. Not everybody is for you. At some point, you can't please everybody. It's much better to just be like, this is my line. This is how I do things. This is what it is. And you take it or you leave it. That's not to say that I can't change or do different things or adjust or whatever. I do, but certain things are just not going to change because it's me. That's where you have to change and be like, okay, I'm not into this. Let me go and check this other thing out. Or I'm super into this guy, or I connect with this person a lot. Things like that. Anyways, this video is super long. I got a lot more comments. I'm on a roll today, apparently. So I'm going to do another comment section video because I got a bunch more comments that I got to get to. Anyways, thank you guys. I'll catch you in the next video.